Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tom with the Strength Agenda and another edition of What's the Word. Today's video, we're talking about the Squat Everyday program. A while back, I commented on somebody's post on Instagram with the hashtag Squat Everyday, or I might have put it on one of my posts. I don't exactly remember, but I had a couple people ask me, what my thoughts were on the program, if I think it's a valid program, do I think it's a fad? All that sort of stuff. So I thought it'd be a great video to do today. But before we get going into what I think about, I want to give you a little bit of history background on the program itself. I believe it was a little over a year ago, Cory Gregory, the president over at Muscle Farm, came out with this Squat Everyday template, I think on bodybuilding.com. And it was like a 30-day program, had training pretty much where you were squatting to a heavy single or higher intensity every day, had a meal template and a supplementation program as well. He kind of popularized the program itself, but a lot of the stuff that he got that he got for the program, he received from John Bros. For those of you who don't know, John Bros runs Average Bros Gymnasium in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're ever out in the area, drop in, train with John in his gym. It's a great place. But John trains a lot of his lifters in the Bulgarian style of training, meaning that they go to high intensity almost daily in the snatch, clean and jerk, and some form of a squatting movement. Now, obviously, John doesn't do that for everybody that he trains. Different lifters with injuries and all sorts of other issues have different things that they do on a regular basis, but the premise of the program for everybody is the same. Is he's trying to push your top end every day, kind of make you better by pushing your maximums. A lot of people that are, against that type of a mentality, that type of training, will say that you're overtraining. John has been quoted as saying, how your body feels is a lie, pretty much saying that what your head is or your mind is going to give up before your body does, and that to kind of keep pushing forward. That's a different discussion for a different day. Just kind of wanted to fill you in roughly where that all kind of came from. But I started doing a little bit more research on my own, and I also found a Squat Everyday book by Matt Perriman. I'm not 100% sure when that came out. I saw a copyright of 2013, but that could have been the most recent edition. Some of my history buffs in the strength training world, if you could help me out with that one, it'd be greatly appreciated. But the biggest thing that I want you to take away is I did my research before I did the video, and I think a lot of you need to do that before implementing the program yourself with how you're training. If you actually read the article that Cory Gregory put out, or I think it's in the video that comes with the article, the program itself is not a max out to every day. If you look at the template that he lays out, I believe it's Saturday and Sunday are what he considers lower volume. Now, he's not very specific on those. You have to buy the program to see all that. But it's not high intensity every single day. There's all sorts of variations that he incorporates, lifting with a belt, with wraps, with sleeves, without belt, wraps, and sleeves, in flat shoes, in lifters. So there's all sorts of variations, front squat, back squat, pauses. He throws everything in the book at you. But it's not all high intensity all the time. He leaves 2 days in the program for lower intensity. If you also go and look on Travis Mash's site, he posted an article about his version of the Squat Everyday, and that falls very closely in line with what Cory Gregory does. The biggest thing to keep in mind is if you are a higher end CrossFitter, if you're a higher end weightlifter, a higher end power lifter, actually that's not true. I'm not a power lifter. I don't know exactly how they all train on a regular basis, but I'm willing to bet they do some variation of a squat multiple times throughout a week, and to the medium higher intensities. But if you fall in that area, chances are you are already doing a ton of squatting volume. If you're doing cleans, snatches, thrusters, air squats, even box squats, regular squats, front squats, whatever, you are doing a ton of squatting already. So you need to keep that in mind if you're trying to get yourself ready to try this Squat Everyday program. You're operating at a little bit of a higher intensity already, and you're going to add even more intensity to that. Okay. Just keep piling on the intensity. That is a one-way ticket to Snap City. You don't want that. You don't want to be sidelined because you were being stupid. So you got to keep that in mind when looking at programs like the Squat Everyday and if it's a good fit for you. Another thing to keep in mind is newer lifters versus older lifters. If you're a newer lifter, almost anything is going to work. Sorry, that's just how it goes. I had a coach in college that was quoted with saying that if I put a brand new lifter on a Spam and mayonnaise sandwich diet, they were going to see gains. I could post an article saying, Spam and mayonnaise sandwiches are the way to go for training. Not necessarily true, but the point was newer lifters, almost any type of program or any kind of, different training that you put them on, they're going to see success, as opposed to an older lifter where you kind of have to work a little bit harder to find what's going to work and what's going to allow you to continue to improve. So keep that in mind as well in terms of where your experience and how many, years or months or whatever you've actually been training. Things to keep in mind with also with doing these programs is your form. Is your form on par? If it's not, are your mechanics good? Do you have mobility issues? All this extra squatting is going to help with that eventually down the road, but going, head first 100% right off the bat is probably not going to be the smartest thing if your mechanics are off. Do you have a coach? Do you have a friend? Do you have somebody who can spot your mechanics and let you know if you're moving in a poor way and help you fix it? Or can you fix it yourself? You don't want to be trying to start this program if you have really poor squatting mechanics. Again, that's just a recipe for disaster. Get your mechanics down. Figure out if you're doing anything wrong. Have somebody, coach you up. Get a couple pair of eyes on you every once in a while. That will help a lot. Just keep all that in mind. And then the biggest thing is do your research. Hopefully you don't have a bunch of friends that are going to kind of just tell you to do something because they want to see if it works or not. And hopefully your coach doesn't do that either. But do some research for yourself. You have no excuse to not be well informed on most topics involved with strength training. There's so much information out there on the internet these days, between Juggernaut and Catalyst Athletics, TZ Strength, Outlaw Barbell. There's just so much information out there on the internet these days that it's your fault if you're not informed. So do your research, find out if it works for you, analyze your training that you're already doing, and figure out if you need to kind of move some things around in order to adapt to this extra intensity that you're bringing into the program. And then lastly, make sure your mechanics are on par. If they're not, get that fixed first before you start going. And that should be, something you should do with any type of training program. You don't just jump into the higher end of training. You got to build up to it and make sure you're doing things properly at the ground level before you can advance. It seems like a simple enough thing, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't get that right. So that's my thoughts on the Squat Everyday program. Do I think it can work? Maybe. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done it myself. This is just my views on it and what I've seen. All right, so if you guys like the video, subscribe. You have any questions you want featured on What's the Word, comment below. Go to www.thestrengthagenda.com. Go to any of our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, ask your questions there. We'll either put it into an article for you or we'll put it on the next edition of What's the Word. And if I don't have the answer for you or anybody I know doesn't have the answer, I will find somebody to get that answer for you, all right? So go ahead and ask away. We'll put it in the queue. We put these out once a week. You guys like that video? Today's video is brought to you by Blonix. Ching. Blonix is a supplement company that works mostly with CrossFitters and weightlifters. They produce HMB supplements. If you're not familiar with what HMB is, it is an amino acid that the body takes in. You get a little bit of it from leucine that you consume in food, but you can supplement more of it. And what it does is it helps the body prevent muscle breakdown, damage, and soreness in between training. So bottom line, it's a supplement to help you recover. It's not a cure-all or anything like that. It's just meant to help in the recovery process. That's what a supplement does. You need to eat normal food. But Blonix is a company that I've been working with for over a year now. It's one of the few supplements that I religiously take. I'm personally a fan of the HMB and creatine, and they've been very nice enough to give me a code for you guys that we want to share. So if you go to blonix.com and purchase yourself some HMB or the HMB and creatine, use code StrengthAgenda, and it'll get you 10% off your order. All right? So Blonix.com, get yourself some, use Strength Agenda, get a discount. All right, they also have a beta-alanine supplement I believe they're coming out with soon, which I'm pretty stoked about because that's another supplement that I like to take with my training. So, again, questions, comments, comment below, go to the Strength Agenda, go to Blonix.com. Thanks for watching, guys.